back for fun. It's gotta screw your head, you gotta wind up dead. You scratch your nose, you lucky when it shows. It's gotta screw your head.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Lund Loop Daily Update for Wednesday, July 22nd, 2026. Happy Hump Day. Well, we continue to be in a very frustrating market environment. If we look at the action over the last 4 days, just the last 4 days, it is just chop city. Every time a name or a sector starts going, it seems to retrace. This morning, we gapped down. We immediately started to rally. We ran right into yesterday's high, sold off hard, rallied again, got back above yesterday's high, and it looked like, okay, maybe we're going to put in a trend up day, and then we just failed and gave it all back. So tough market to be trading in, which is why we're not really that active right now. Lots of earnings after hours. You got Tesla that's out, Alphabet, Google. I'm never going to call it Alphabet. Google is out. ServiceNow, now that's a big one, and here's why. 7/22/26. That's the day the software trade died. We've been trying to position into a potential breakout in software names, which have been holding up pretty well for the past 2 weeks. Always keen off of this high on the 7th. I've been saying if we can get some of these names to close above the July 7th high, I think they're going to rip face. But unfortunately today, we saw IGV roll over. We saw Palantir start to roll over. We saw Path get smashed today, down I think 12% at one point, a little bit off the lows. We saw ServiceNow drop 6.5%. So all of these names are breaking down, right? But wait a minute. ServiceNow has earnings after the bell, and it actually went green at one point. So it erased that 6%. They raised their numbers. So is the software trade over? I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what happens tomorrow. If we can get back above this spot here after the earnings, that is similar to when we have one of these bars, the one I talked about where we gap down, actually more like this bar, sorry, where we gap down and then we push all the way back. You'd be de-risking the name, at least ServiceNow, in the short term, and maybe a sentiment change. So software's dead, maybe long live software. I want to expand on that for just a second. The thesis that I've had on why software shouldn't be dead is that the whole thing about AI eating software is overblown. The idea that AI is going to suddenly replace enterprise software just doesn't make any sense, right? But here's the thing. The market doesn't care right now, or the market believes that AI is going to eat software's lunch. So no matter what I think, how it's going to resolve in the end, price right now is saying, we don't believe you. Now, at some point, will that change? Maybe. Maybe that's what we'll see tomorrow, depending on how ServiceNow acts. But the point is, when you get a narrative that you believe in and the technicals diverge, it's okay to stick with the technicals, but you do it at your own peril. Now, if you're in a long-term position that you think software is, eventually the market's going to come to its senses and software is going to have a resurgence, which I think if you're in a long-term position, that's a whole different thing. I've got a longer-term position in Palantir. I got a longer-term position in Path, unfortunately right now, but I still think that those are going to work out in the long run. But those are not trades, right? A trade is different than a longer-term position. So right now, the market is saying, there's no software trade. Will that change? It could. Does that have anything to do with the long-term potential of software? Maybe, maybe not. It just depends on where you're positioning yourself. And you're always trying to position yourself so that the market doesn't make a decision for you. Like if you're loading up into the software names like they're trades and the market dumps and you got to sell them, the market made a decision for you. If you're scaling into software names because you're going to hold them longer term because you think that this narrative will eventually resolve itself and the market dumps, it's going to hurt. It's stinging a little bit, but it doesn't make your decision for you. You're able to sit there and hang and give enough time for your thesis to work out. That's the difference between a long-term investment, an active investment, or a trade, a day trade or a swing trade. So, all right, let's hop in to the indexes and see what they're doing.